From Interior Alaska's most trusted news source, this is the Fbx Evening News.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A former Fairbanks priest has been sentenced in federal court for attempted enticement of a minor.
58-year-old Clint Michael Landry was ordered to serve 10 years in prison, followed by a lifetime period of supervised release. According to the plea agreement, Landry was using a work computer to receive images of child pornography through a Yahoo email account. Court records allege that between June 2013 and May 2014, Landry negotiated with individuals in the Philippines to receive sex shows through email. Further communications by Landry reportedly sought to view explicit material of children younger than 11 years old. Those communications were retrieved by the Federal Bureau of Investigation. Landry's sentence will include restrictions on internet access, polygraph examinations, and sex offender registration.
A Fairbanks man is being held without bail after a near 3-hour standoff with Alaska State Troopers near Gold Hill Road on Saturday. 36-year-old Jay Cobb Whitmore was arraigned in Fairbanks District Court on charges of burglary, felony assault, and criminal trespassing. According to court documents, Whitmore assaulted his ex-girlfriend at the Gold Hill residence. The victim was reportedly struck in the face and had reportedly been assaulted by Whitmore on previous occasions. Whitmore, who has a lengthy criminal history, allegedly had a handgun and was staying at a shack near the area. Due to the criminal history and the most recent assault, an arrest warrant was issued for Whitmore along with a search warrant for the property. Following a 3-hour standoff, troopers say Whitmore surrendered and was taken to Fairbanks Correctional Center.
Sentencing for a Fairbanks man accused of stealing packages of prescription drugs from the U.S. Postal Service has been postponed. 47-year-old James Dimitrowicz is facing charges of felony theft, tampering with physical evidence, and drugs possession. Today, state prosecutors revealed due to the nature of the charges, Dimitrowicz would likely be indicted in federal court. It's alleged he stole the drugs for years from packages going in and out of the Postal Service offices in Fairbanks. Those drugs included morphine, oxycodone, and other medications intended for veterans in rural Alaskan villages. After a sting, Dimitrowicz allegedly admitted to stealing the drugs. Another hearing for the case was scheduled for July.
A Fairbanks man who was part of a multi-state drug conspiracy was sentenced in U.S. District Court. 42-year-old Etienne DeVoe was sentenced to 126 months in prison, followed by a 5-year term of supervised release for conspiracy to distribute cocaine and heroin, as well as conspiracy to launder the money from selling those drugs. According to court documents, it was after a 2013 shooting at a Gillum Way residence in Fairbanks that police found the drug trafficking supplies, along with texts and phone calls between DeVoe and his co-conspirators regarding their ongoing drug trafficking relationship. An investigation revealed DeVoe had distributed large amounts of cocaine and heroin in the Fairbanks area. DeVoe, along with 8 others, were charged in connection with the drug conspiracy that extended from Interior Alaska to Washington.
Participants of this past weekend's Sustainable Future Conference convened on the UAF campus by Alaska Governor Bill Walker found about $20 million worth of state services that could be cut. Now that was on Saturday. On Sunday, the 3-day conference wrapped up with a focus on finding new revenue sources to help close the state's multi-billion-dollar fiscal gap. Participants, many of whom were members on Walker's transition team, worked in breakout sessions to discuss revenue. Many used a fiscal model to calculate filling the gap by using permanent fund earnings as well as sales, business, or oil taxes. Walker says there will be new taxes, and based on reports from discussion groups, a state income tax should also be on the table.
The vote was 14-0 for an income tax, which kind of surprised me, but that was the vote. And I think some of the logic behind that vote is it's time for Alaskans to have some skin in the game.
One of the cautions that was mentioned, and you're going to be surprised at this, politics. The question was asked, are there any political dead on arrivals in this model? And the response was, every box.
When we come back, we've been on the alert for wildfires, but there's another danger that we have to be aware of, coal seam fires. We'll explain that.
Also, summer driving can bring on its own specific safety problems, and there are many hazards you should be aware of to avoid summer accidents. These stories and more when we return. And welcome back. Little action was taken on the state operating budget by lawmakers in Anchorage today. The legislature is in the midst of a second special session and is trying to pass a fully funded spending plan for the coming fiscal year before layoff notices are sent to over 10,000 state employees on July 1st. A conference committee meeting scheduled for this morning on the latest budget proposal was canceled. Both the House and Senate held brief technical floor sessions to comply with meeting rules. The House met very briefly while Senate convened for a bit longer. Senator Bill Wielechowski, an Anchorage Democrat, again raised concerns over the proposed denial of the cost of living increases for state employees. The raises have been a source of contention during budget negotiations, with Republicans holding firm that it makes little sense to talk pay raises while the state faces a $3 billion budget shortfall.
Usually wildfires are caused as a result of human activity or lightning strikes, but Alaska firefighters are also dealing with coal seam fires that have been burning for hundreds of years. Coal seam fires come from existing coal that's been burning underground as a result of wildfires many years in the past. Wildland firefighters find that surface fires caused by coal seams are extremely hard to put out. This year, over 800 acres of land have been consumed by 9 coal seam fires, the largest of which is in the French Gulch fire near Healy. Fire Prevention Officer Michael Goyette says coal seam fires cannot be extinguished without danger to ground firefighters because of noxious gases and unstable ground. But there are ways to keep those fires from spreading.
We have quite a few different bulldozer lines around the fire areas from previous fires. They burnt through the area previously, so there's less vegetation for them to burn. It's just very time consuming because we have to send aircraft down to monitor those coal seam fires that we know we can't put out, just to make sure they're not going into an area where we don't want them.
A renowned activist is making her way north to speak on issues of equality. Writer, lecturer, feminist, and political activist Gloria Steinem will be lecturing at the University of Alaska Fairbanks this Friday evening at 7. The event, which is hosted by UAF Summer Sessions and Lifelong Learning, will be in the Davis Concert Hall and is free and open to the public. Now, due to limited seating, the event will also be web streamed to the Salisbury Theater and the internet. Steinem has spent more than 3 decades as a feminist organizer and is co-founder of Ms. Magazine. Her particular interests include gender roles and child abuse as roots of violence, nonviolent conflict resolution, and the cultures of Indigenous peoples. Summer Sessions and Lifelong Learning Director Michelle Bartlett says this is an amazing opportunity to see a living legend.
I think it's just an amazing opportunity to see a living legend in person, sharing her knowledge and passion. We have the opportunity and to celebrate each individual person so that they can give as much as the next person, and it doesn't matter what their sex is.
Summer means snow is long gone on interior roads, but Alaska State Troopers say that doesn't necessarily prevent accidents for drivers. Trooper Matthew Iverson says drivers shouldn't be relaxing behind the wheel in the summer heat. He says accidents are just as likely to happen this time of year because of inattentive driving. Troopers recommend drivers wear appropriate sunglasses during clear days. Drivers should also clean their windshields and maintain windshield wipers to prevent loss of sight due to rainy weather. Iverson adds that rainy weather can also cause vehicles to hydroplane, which causes accidents similar to those on ice. To prevent hydroplaning, drivers should slow down on highways.
Even in intersections, make sure the intersections are clear before proceeding through. I've seen a lot of times when people are stopped at red lights and they want to be the first one, off from the intersection when it goes green, and they don't completely clear the intersection before proceeding through, and that could cause accidents within an intersection.
Have you ever hydroplaned?
I have.
Yeah, it's scary, isn't it?
It is pretty scary.
Absolutely.
And I have to say, it's good to be back.
Yeah, absolutely. We missed you.
Oh, aw.
Yeah.
I missed you guys too. You know who else I missed?
Joe Cook.
Joe Cook.
Right.
He's up next with some of the top local sports stories from the last few days in the weekend recap.
Stay with us.
Welcome back, Interior Sports fans. Joe Cook here with your local weekend recap. The ASAA First National Bank State Softball Tournament Finals were held in Fairbanks on Saturday. Unfortunately, no Interior teams made it to the finals, but East Anchorage, they dominated in a 12-0 victory over the West Anchorage Eagles. East took an early 2-0 lead. Then they really took off as senior shortstop Taria Page, the Alaska Gatorade Player of the Year and Division I Louisiana Tech commit, launches one of the deepest homers all year at the South Davis Complex. Freshman pitcher and little sister Daisy Page tossed a 6K 3-hit shutout. The win is the T-Birds' 86th in a row, the longest win streak in Alaska, and it gives East 4 straight titles, the only large school team to accomplish the feat.
Well, I always say you might think that you might get over the feeling, but it's just excitement. Like, it's nerve-wracking. Like, it's soothing at the same time, but it's like my energy's still up there. Like, I can't get over it.
Going into the games, we focus on not letting the other teams take advantage of us maybe not coming out as strong because we're used to winning. We just really have to put our minds to it. It's a mind game, and we work really hard on that.
We tell them basically just treat every game as a single game, you know, and we just try to move forward and just tell them to do the best they can in that situation. So, and then our job is just try not to mess it up.
And in the small schools tournament, the Sitka Wolves, they came away with the crown. It was tied 2-2 between the Wolves and the Ketchikan Kings, last year's runner-up. But Sitka's Ellie Gray provided the go-ahead RBI in the second inning to spark an 8-0 run. The Wolves, they would go on to win this one 14-6 in 5 innings to claim their 5th title in 6 years. K-High finished second to Sitka again for the 3rd time since 2010. The Wolves also won the small girls state title in basketball this season as well.
Oh, we just want it so much. We put in a lot of time and effort for every sport that we play, and it was a good year for us.
Just another at bat, really, because if you psych yourself out, then you're never going to accomplish anything. So I just had to keep reminding myself, just another at bat, and stay loose.
And the community of Sitka, they backed us up, and they funded our trip. We didn't know if we were going to make it. They funded it, so it really is about everybody else and getting everybody clicking at the same time.
The state baseball tournament wrapped up on Saturday, and the West Valley Wolfpack, they finished in 5th place. West Valley lost to Juneau Douglas 2-1. Juneau also eliminated Lathrop 17-7 on Friday. West Valley's Tyler Christman was named to the state's all-tournament team. The state champions, though, they are the Chugiak Mustangs. They shut out South Anchorage 5-0 for their first ever state title in baseball. Iditarod musher Jim Lanier, his son Jimmy, led the Mustangs with a 3-hit complete game shutout on 86 pitches for the Mustangs. And it was the first statewide event of its kind, and a crew out of Anchorage came away with the title. Saturday and Sunday was the inaugural CrossFit Alaskan Affiliate Cup. 9 CrossFit affiliates from Alaska came to the Carlson Center to compete in 25 different events over 2 days. The winner of the first Alaskan Affiliate Cup is CrossFit Alaska, based out of Anchorage. They led by 25 points after the first day of competition and finished with 715 points. And they are now the fittest gym in Alaska until next year. Northern Exposure was second, followed by Kanos. CrossFit Fairbanks finished 4th with 620 points. Mat-Su CrossFit was 5th. CrossFit North Pole finished 6th with 525 points. No Kyrie Irving, no Kevin Love, but the Cavs have LeBron James and some guy named Delly. Cleveland ties up the NBA Finals with a wild win in overtime on Sunday in Game 2. The final was 95-93 in overtime. LeBron James led the Cavs with 39 points, 16 rebounds, and 11 assists. Matthew Dellavedova did his part on the MVP. Steph Curry, who has the finals record for most missed threes with 13. The series is now tied 1-1. Game 3 is Tuesday in Cleveland at 5 o'clock Alaska time. And now we close out the sports cast with the last edition of the I-5 Interior Top 5 Plays for the 2014-2015 season. Which one will be the play of the week?
At number 5, Hutchinson's Kimmy Duffield sends one over the fence for a 3-1 home run. The Hawks' 14-9 loss to the Homer Mariners in the state tournament on Friday night. More from Duffield at number 4. She throws 9 Ks and allows 2 hits in a 7-2 win over Kodiak for the Hawks' first state tournament win in program history on Friday as well. At number 3, West Valley's Blake Sarthout hits the game-winning RBI single, bringing in Trent Woods in a 4-0 win over Ketchikan on Thursday. More from this game in a bit. At number 2, North Pole senior Paige Shamur's solo shot goes yard. The Patriots' 21-6 victory over Kodiak on Friday was their first state tournament win in program history. At number 1, the upset of the year in baseball, as number 8 West Valley wins 4-0 over number 1 K-High in the first round of the state tournament, powered by senior Tyler Christman's 122-pitch, 6-strikeout, 2-hitter performance. To vote for the play of the week, click on your favorite play on the I-5 poll on webcenter11.com. You can also comment on the KTVF Facebook and YouTube post and at KTVF11 Sports on Twitter for your vote. The play of the week will be revealed this Friday.
The I-5 Sports Report is brought to you by Adient Orthopedic Physical Therapy.
And that'll do it for sports tonight. Mike Schultz is next with weather, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey everyone, welcome back into a Monday night edition of the Fbx Evening News. Mike Schultz with you once again talking about weather. And it was an interesting weekend to say the least. Some areas had some pretty heavy showers. I know where I live in the University West area, we had hail and rain and really coming down big time. And then of course yesterday we had scattered showers, and today we have more showers, but there's good weather, I should say, coming tomorrow, looking at temperatures warming up and more sunshine to talk about. Here's our photograph for night. This one is a very nice one sent in by Dennis Rigel. He was able to capture this very nice cloud formation behind the Princess Hotel along the Chino River there. Nice colors. Again, as always, if you have a photograph to share, send it to ktvf11.com. And one other photograph to share with you. Last week we did a story on the fish falling from the sky, the lamprey eels. They were wondering where they're coming from. Well, maybe this photograph will give you an idea. Oh, I guess it's not going to be there. I'll show it to you later, but we have a photograph of the gulls picking the fish out of the river, and I'll try and get that for you later on, at least for 11 o'clock tonight. Here's what our numbers look like. 63 degrees our high, the low last night 42 degrees, the record high 87 in 1923, the record low 32 in 1932. Your sunrise and sunset 21 hours and 11 minutes. Has a gain of 5 minutes from yesterday. On our satellite and radar, you can see again a lot of flow coming out of the south and the southwest, and it is starting to move a little bit more to the west as it moves all this moisture out of the picture. The latest radar is zooming in on the Fairbanks area. You'll see we do have scattered showers around the area, but it looks like it's going to be clearing up. As you can see, a pretty good pocket clearing out the very last end of the satellite picture here. That'll be moving our direction, so the showers should be ending later on this evening. What else is going on across the rest of the state? Well, we're looking at some showers over the Juneau area and just cloudy skies to partly cloudy skies around Ketchikan. Also showers around the Anchorage Bowl, 58 degrees at Anchorage, 48 at Kodiak with widespread rainfall there. Also raining along the Aleutian Chain, Cold Bay at 49. Pretty nice up and down the west coast, 42 degrees at Nome, also 42 degrees at Barrow. That's pretty nice for those folks. And 61 degrees for the high today in Fort Yukon. Lower 48 weather looks like this, and the big news tonight is the storminess that's moving across the Baja Peninsula from what was once a huge hurricane, but now diminished down to a tropical storm, Blanca. That's going to be bringing some much needed rainfall into Southern California. But look at those temperatures at Las Vegas and Phoenix, 105, 100 degrees. Denver, 80 degrees. Pretty warm in Dallas, too, 95 there. Minneapolis, 81, so a lot of warm air across the central portion of the country, and that spreads over to the northeast, where New York checked in with 77 degrees, 88 in Washington, D.C., also 88 in Miami. On the satellite radar, one frontal boundary moving out of the picture, and that was one that caused widespread showers and thunderstorms over the eastern half of the country. And down here is the remnants that were once Hurricane Blanca, now a tropical storm, but pushing a lot of moisture into California, maybe helping to maybe make a dent in that drought situation that's going on, but not really expected to be a whole lot. But you can see the outlook for tomorrow is calling for more widespread showers and thunderstorms. And the overall jet stream for the latter part of this week, the midweek, is looking at, again, way up to the north, allowing all that warm air to come in from the south and give all the folks nice warm temperatures and probably humid conditions too. Well, back to Alaska for tomorrow. Here's what it looks like. In the northern sections, looking at isolated showers at Barrows, showers in Nome, and partly cloudy skies for Fort Yukon. Here in the interior, we'll be looking at a lot better weather than today. Mostly sunny skies for Fairbanks and Delta Junction. A few clouds at Healy. And over southeast Alaska, well, it looks like for the most part, mostly cloudy skies at Juneau and just scattered clouds for Ketchikan. Over to the southwest part of the state, looking at scattered showers at Cold Bay and Bethel and periods of rain for Kodiak Island. And down across the Anchorage Bowl area, areas of rain at Anchorage and also in Homer, and more rain expected for Valdez. Our forecast for the remainder of the night looks like this, and we're looking at mostly cloudy skies with isolated showers ending, 44 degrees for the overnight low. Tomorrow's forecast, almost 70 degrees with lots of sunshine returning, and the extended forecast calling for one more bout of showers for Wednesday and Thursday, and things look pretty good heading into the weekend. As you can see, temperature warming back up again, near 70 degrees by Sunday, and the overall picture for the rest of the week is calling for, like I said, showers on Wednesday and Thursday, and then just partly cloudy skies, and temperatures still pretty comfortable for the overnight lows too.
Yeah, not a bad forecast though. We need the rain, so that's good.
It cooled down quite a bit.
A little bit, but
I will have that picture of that gull taking the water.
Wait.
All right. That will wrap up this edition of the Fairbanks Evening News. We're glad you could join us.
Tonight on the NBC Nightly News, the manhunt continues for 2 killers who escaped from a New York prison. That's up next with Lester Holt.
You can join us here 6 days a week at 6 and 11 or online anytime at website11.com.
All right, that'll do it from all of us here at the News Center. We hope you have a great night.